outreach crisis center. That's her interests lie there, as well as the museum.
And she does so much. I think that it would be undeniable for anyone to ever say that the amount of effort that she puts into helping all of the folks that are on the streets of Pahoa.
Sure.
And really, and we do have our flux of the folks, and they all need help. They all need compassion, and Sara has reached out to every one of them. And I know that even on second Saturdays, Sara always has an artist. She features an artist for the month.
Yeah, actually, I'm Sara, of course, and she's Sara, and so we work together. And as far as the museum, she's let Laulima Pahoa, she's let us, we do Tuesday sketching there with live models every
That's
Tuesday.
Wonderful. Yeah, you're always looking for live models.
Oh, we're always looking for live models for people.
What time is that?
That's Tuesdays, every Tuesday from 11 till 1.
And I think, everybody is invited to it. You do ask that they bring their own supplies. Sure. But I tell you folks, if you really should go to this if you can. There are some terrific artists, accomplished artists that are there. Sara herself is there, and we have Vincent that is there, and there's Barry is there, and these are terrific artists, all that use different mediums. We post our weekly sketching too on the museum page. So you can go to Pahoa Village Museum on Facebook. And if you think about it, if you're at all clever, then you can actually go and have a portrait of yourself done by these famous artists of Pahoa, and it's going to be on Facebook, and then you get to walk away with this beautiful drawing. Do you ever give the drawings? You give one or at least one of the drawings to the folks.
Barry, you know how he is. He always gifts his drawings, and what I do is I just take pictures of them, post them, and my next show will be a portrait show, because I've done so many of them lately. That's been my latest thing. So.
Who is the artist for this coming Saturday?
Pat Leo, actually. She has a 2-month show going on, and so her artist reception was last second Saturday, so she won't be there, but Sara has a few.
Oh, wonderful.
There's a few acts at the museum, and then also we're having our Laulima Pahoa Mother's Day themed tent party.
That's right.
In the little park behind the Pahoa Vitality Clinic.
Yep, it's right across the street from the old cash and carry, now the Napa.
Yep.
The parking lot from the Napa store, it's right across the street. It's a lovely spot, nice lawn. We have some terrific performers lined up for the Mother's Day bash that it is to be. And I think as well at Pahoa Museum, there is some terrific performers as well. There's entertainment all throughout Pahoa on second Saturdays.
Island Naturals, the Kava Bar, and also the new Creole Kitchen. Yeah, the kind of wolf's den thing, or it goes back into the.
It's great news. And at the Pahoa Museum, I think, if my memory is correct, I believe that it is Alana Miller is going to be playing. I think Green Flash.
Millicent's playing.
No, I think Millicent is playing. Millicent is playing for us, of course.
Right.
And but
at 5.
At 5 o'clock. That's down at the next to the Vitality
Park. Yeah.
And then at the Pahoa Museum is Alana Miller. I think Green Flash. I think that Green Flash is playing there as well. And there might be one other player, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, I'll try to find out before the show's over. But back to our reason for this evening, for this show, is we want everyone to know that the nonprofit is it's for the community. It's trying to bring art and music as a way of bringing people together, having folks that aren't necessarily aware of who each other are. We live in a little town. We see people constantly. I often refer to it as the Pahoa friends, the Pono friends, where you know their faces, you see them constantly, and you even know their habits, you know their cars, and you don't know their names. And so we're trying to kind of close that gap and have everybody know everybody. And so do remember so far, the information for you is that on Tuesdays And what time is the sketching on Tuesdays?
11 till 1.
From 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock, they're always looking for models, so if you always wanted to be a model, and who hasn't always wanted to be a model? If you wanted to be a model, there are these famous artists at the Pahoa Museum, and they will draw pictures of you, they will draw sketches of you. Some of them are doing different mediums, and so you'll have different things. If you are at all interested in being on the other side of that, you don't want to be the model, you are interested in being the artist, then these folks would love to help you out with that. There are actually even some artists that I know Vincent offers lessons, painting lessons and classes. And if you haven't seen Vincent's work, you certainly need to, because it's extraordinary. And Sarah's is a beautiful work. Barry's is famous. My beautiful wife's art is also, she has had a show in there. And Chris is actually working with us in the nonprofit, and she's going to be trying to coordinate some of the art activities that we're trying to bring in. Do you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to say about some of the events and the activities?
Well, they're still in the development stage. I was just thinking about
we have all kinds of medium going on.
well, I was thinking about wish flags, to everybody volunteer to just do a flag, and then we could just hang them around,
That's a great idea.
Yep.
And then
and it would be a good way to start to get to know each other and
Absolutely.
see what people are really looking for.
No, that's a great idea. What the medium
from
would be
us.
like, kind of, would we try to, as the folks at the second, that we're going to try to do this on second Saturday?
You know what? Sarah at the museum has those boxes of all the little squares of fabric, and that's what she's been doing already, is people's wishes.
Wow.
So yeah, so we could go grab that, and people can fill those out.
That's a neat idea.
Okay, but that'll be ready right away.
And I do think, it's kind of funny, it's always the way that it seems to be in the nonprofit world, which is, I so dislike the term nonprofit. I would rather that it be recognized without the word profit in it at all, so that we would, because what we're doing is, I suppose, we are caught with words that we've invented. So we're in this loop where we have to use words like profit to indicate something good is happening, and we're doing something good for the community, but there's so many words that I would rather use. What we are trying to constantly just raise the awareness of is to have people understand that this beautiful, beautiful green planet that we have is the only one that we have. And we're trying so hard to have everyone become closer together, closer, so that our communication doesn't necessarily have to be over these electronic devices, but we actually get to see each other and be in each other's presence and be with each other and hear and watch and see people's expressions on their faces as they say what they have to say. And we have a way of communicating that's closer, and it's going to help us. We have this beautiful green planet that we so need to take care of, and we have our non-profit organizations that are on this way. We're trying to bring people together and using art and music as a way, a vehicle to introduce everyone to each other and have a way of expressing ourselves. I think that, do you think, Chris, that at the events, are we going to be able to have some artists that will have some expertise? They'll be able to help people along. I know that there was an idea, and I thought it was a great idea. I'd never thought of it before, but there's right. There's a use of for old. I don't know. What is it that actually makes makeup become old? Is it color? Does the color change, and then all the makeup is no good?
It expires, or you get tired of what it is, or it's at the end and it kind of gets crusty.
So when we say makeup, we're talking about lipstick.
Lipstick, mascara.
And so,
combination,
and
anything,
why we're
nail
talking about this is.
Eyeshadow.
Eyeshadows are fabulous.
Yeah.
So it's all of it's everything that you can kind of think
Yeah.
of in that world.
Yeah.
And now, what do you do with it? How is it used to create
You
art?
could use it for just on papers and things like that. You could do portraits. You could take it to sketch day and actually, create with the makeup. It's almost like recycling. If you're not going to use it anymore.
It's a great idea. I think that's
It's like
it seems like it would be. It seems like it's a great way as well of having folks, the children and folks come, and you can almost get messy. You can get messy creating it because, assuming that it actually isn't, unfortunately probably 90% petroleum product. But
I also think it's a little less intimidating than
sure.
a paintbrush or.
Oh, that's a great point. That's a great point. That's that it becomes a medium almost like a crayon. You can use it like a crayon. So we'll have tables. That's kind of what the idea is that we're going to try to have tables and engage folks, engage our neighbors, engage our friends, engage these people that we drive by. And I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I drive through Pahoa. I wave to everyone. And I would be at task immediately if I was asked, if someone was saying, oh, just wave to him, what's his name? And I wouldn't know that. And I'm telling you all that I'm not comfortable with that. I want to know their name. I want to know who they are, and I want to know what they're doing, and how I can help, how we can do something together that's going to help all of us. And that's what I think our nonprofit, like almost all nonprofits, we are always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for folks. And ideas, yep, absolutely, Chris. And ideas for other things. There are some extraordinarily inventive things that can be done with items that otherwise are just going to fill up, the recycling centers.
And not only that, we would like to start gardening as well, getting some.
Sure, and actually Sarah's involved in that
Sarah
too.
at the museum is, and Clarity, they're, the beautification committee has taken off kind of on their own. That's after the fire, and we had a few community meetings that were organized by our council representatives, Jen Ruggles and Eileen O'Hara, and yeah, a lot of community networking got happened during those few meetings, and we were, frustrated, and there's still a lot of unanswerable things.
There was even anger. I think that I mean, even in some ways there were some unintended consequences that came as a result of that, and I think
it's kind of hard.
People got a little less compassionate.
Pahoa, and you see that, anyway. Once they start rebuilding, it'll be better. I still almost tear up the other day just thinking about it.
I know. Well, it was such a loss. The Akapono was
breakfast there with my mom, and my brother.
All of the folks with
it's just
personal
like, what do?
memories.
You have your meetings there.
Sure.
Got half an hour, go have a beer at the Kings. I mean.
I know. No, it's true. It was a meeting spot. It was it's an interesting thing when buildings become such a part of a community. And that building certainly had a place in the community of Pahoa it was just shy of 100 years, and so. But I do think that good things have come from such a tragic event, and of course there's no going back to that. But I do think that going forward we have this terrific group of people in Pahoa that have pulled together. There's been a couple of events already. The second Saturdays are consistent and are growing. Now the second Saturdays actually that originated out of your ideas. I think wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think Main Street Pahoa and Island Naturals, Russell Ruderman, and I know Tina's been instrumental in organizing the music throughout town, but I didn't. We just Laulima Pahoa kind of jumped on that bandwagon. Because of the museum, we were organizing the music and the art for that, so that just came to be the time to have the reception for the artists were going to be when everybody's in town for the music. And
Yeah, I thought second Saturday was a great idea. I would love to see the community actually support it more. It does a reasonable turnout. I think that there's enough folks out there. I do think that some of the businesses need to recognize it and start to be a little bit more involved as well. It would be nice if there more businesses would stay open.
well, but you know, once the Akebono burned and Lukine's, and he's had to lock up the parking lot, and Sal provided, you know, at least half the parking for the town of Pahoa, and he's not allowed to let the public access that right now because of, I mean, he hasn't even gotten his, you know, the insurance are dragging their feet to pay him, so that's why he hasn't been able to start rebuilding yet. So, yeah, so our town lost, what, 50, 60 parking spots? And so
it'd be
for
interesting
second Saturday, and then we try and, you know, work with the community center, but if there's private functions going on, you know, they take up the parking lot and the bathrooms and they lock us out at 9 o'clock or...
I'm a little confused at that, and of course that does need, and I think that this isn't necessarily the forum for that, but I do think that there are folks, and eventually as this show grows and as more folks learn about 93.5 Aloha Nation Live, and we are able to grow ourselves and we have more folks with us, then we can start to engage the community in a conversation about individual items that they want discussed, that they want a voice. They want more than their circle of friends or the proverbial, you know, preaching to the choir kind of thing, where it's, you know, you can always find a group of people that agree with you, especially if you're surrounded by friends, like-minded folks. They have no problem, but the effort and the point of what your compassion of, you know, your passion is never grows. And so we're hoping that with 93.5 and Aloha Nation Live, we have a terrific lineup of DJs. We have a terrific group of folks that want to play incredible music. I'm sure that we have other folks that want to talk. That's why I put out a message today on our Facebook page of Monday Music Defense, where we play music every Monday down at the Warm Pond in Pahoa. Yeah. We do it all day long, 11 until dark, and everyone is welcome to come and sing your favorite song. We'll play along for you. But I put out that we're hoping that 93.5 Aloha Nation Live is going to engage the community in a way that is we're unable to pull everyone together. We have so many terrific people, and speaking, it's certainly not just for Puna, where we happen to be from, but we've got some great people all over this island, and we have great ideas, and we have great thoughts of ways of working together, of just stopping the machine from grinding us down, taking care of our green, beautiful planet, and making the right choices. And with our effort out in Puna, we certainly want to extend that effort. We want to get everybody involved. We've opened up lines of communication with folks up in Hamakua. We have a beautiful group up there, Eden and Sulang of the Sea Dandelion Cafe. They are streaming us live at their beautiful cafe in Hanakukaka'a. And Devin, our wonderful guitar guy in Kiau at Rogers Guitar, is streaming us live in his shop. These are places that when you go, you're going to hear us on the radio. We're going to engage you in conversation, and we're hoping that by extending all of these lines of communication, we're going to pull together and make things happen, make change happen that we need it so desperately. And it's our little group, the reason that we have Sara, and Sara has been a spearhead in the community of Pahoa for years and years. And there's a group there that is just relentlessly, constantly questioning, constantly sending and writing notes into the newspapers, constantly holding folks' feet to the fire when they say that they are going to do something and they don't do it, you can count on Sarah and a group of people that are going to be writing to the newspaper, to the point where the newspaper expects it. When they see somebody do something silly, they know they're going to get a letter from Sarah. But I'm taking up all the time. Sarah, I wanted you to talk to about the events.
I just was trying to cut in because I got a text from Patty and Dennis who are sitting in Pahoa at the Laulima parking lot listening to Aloha Nation.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hello, Patty and Dennis.
93.5 FM. And so they said it's a little bit garbly, but they're hearing us. And so that's, through the static they hear us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. And yeah, I mean, as far as a nonprofit, I just know that we've done a lot, and it's all and we're volunteers, and there's a lot of people.
Patty and Dennis actually are
Patty
part
and Dennis
of
are part of
the important part of our volunteers.
They are, yep. And second Saturday last month, we got 14 volunteers signed up. They came and filled out the sheets, and we got a couple of grant writers and a couple of people to work in the beautification, and so slowly, if we can keep doing this for a few more months, we'll get our volunteer list will swell, and then we can start asking also for money. If you don't have time to come and volunteer or a skill, but you want to help. Yeah, Laulima Pahoa right now also projects are going to be after the hemp festival in August. We have a other nonprofit. I'm affiliated with the Pono Alliance, and they were formed in response to the Puna geothermal venture, the geothermal plant there, and we're
still very active.
Still very actively gassing and making people's lives miserable out there, all to supply a few megawatts of their very expensive electricity.
Not even to us.
Not even to us, because we don't even have electric poles on our street. Most of us in Puna, and they have 3 lawsuits right now that they, we're trying to enforce the noise drilling at night ordinance that we got passed several years back. And then over in Kona, when they were starting to poke around who will lie, we jumped in over there. And then also we have a class action now for during ESEL, when Helco asked Puna Geothermal Venture not to shut down so that people would maybe have electricity while they're preparing for the storm or something. They decided to not shut the plant down, and so there were a lot of people sickened by that, and we're thinking there may even have been a death or two.
Oh my gosh.
And so, Puna Pono Alliance really, the attorneys and paralegals have been donating their time so far, but it's a lot of work and a lot of, we need to raise some money for them, so that's what I'm going to try and help do that after the hemp festival.
So those events, we'll be putting those events together, and we'll try to get all of this stuff up on the website.
Sure.
And you also have a website, Puna
Pono Alliance. They have their own website. I'm just going to be helping them.
Do you happen to know what that website is, so you can tell the
it's just going to be punaponoalliance.com, and they have all sorts of information.
.org probably, you think?
I don't know if they're .org.
Are we, you're actually a .org though, right? The nonprofit is a 501c.
We're a 501c3, yes. Puna Pono Alliance has a 501c3, and they also have a 501c4 wing, but they still, and they raise money, but they need help. And so since I like to organize big parties, then
it's a great way.
that's Laulima Pahoa is perfectly suited to help them.
That's what we do. And one of the things that we had talked about with this particular nonprofit, because of the service, the art and music that we're trying to create and use it as the vehicle to bring people together, is one of the ideas that came across the table at one of the meetings was to have a representative of all of the different subdivisions that exist within the Puna district. And there's a number of them. I mean, of course, HPP and places like that that come to mind. But the idea with that was so that the communities, the actual subdivisions themselves, and some of them are large enough that they perhaps would want more than even just one, but in a way that we could sort of piggyback the efforts of this nonprofit in bringing the community together, and we could learn firsthand from someone from each subdivision what type of events, what type of music, what type of art, what day, and utilize the community
What
centers.
they're looking for out
Sure.
of their community as well.
Sure. Well, and a way to get the communities to speak to each other.
Yeah.
You
Get
know,
to know everybody.
to intermingle. I know that they moved the Pahoa Sunday market down to Nanavali,
Exactly.
right? In order to because of the Akimona parking lot issue.
They did, and I heard that's flourishing really well, and I heard actually that people really like it because they have it's a pretty big space there, and it's all
great.
undercover. And, I was talking to Sal, and he just said the insurance company, he wanted to build a permanent farmer's market there, just like that cute one in KL. It's just, there in the front part of his. And so we could have daily farmers market activity and art there, but the insurance, they told him he'd have to insure every seller, or every seller had to prove that they had insurance. It's just this weird bureaucracy that's happening. It's almost like they don't want us, to have farmers markets, and they don't want Sal to do anything on his property, maybe.
No, I know it.
I
think, that I can't help but wonder, and then I hope as the show grows, as our audience grows, and more folks are interested, and we do finally get an opportunity or the technology that we need to be able to do phone-ins, and then, and I guess once we have enough of a presence, I would love to be able to get, if they would come on the show and tell us things that are just mind-boggling to me, that massive parking lot of the community center, which just by definition drives me nuts, community center. There's massive parking lot, and we have second Saturdays where we're trying to get people to come downtown, get to know each other. We're trying to help the local businesses have an audience that want that are there, that people that drive through the town, never stop, go to the bank, leave town, and now they're on foot. Now they can stop in at that store that they've never stopped in at, and we're trying to do all of this, and the community center parking lot is not accessible for folks to leave their car, from the community. Because if you don't get there by the magic number, then which is another thing that just kills me. There's a man, there's a person, there's this person that locks the gate. This person can see. He has eyes. He can see that your vehicle is there.
Pahoa's got talent because.
Well, I think that. One of the more humorous ones was the wasn't it? It was the meeting. It was the community meeting. As a result of the fire, we had a community meeting called for by community elected officials, and they locked cars in the parking lot of the pool area.
Well, and that was actually.
It was one of them was ours, right? Of course, and our dear friends Patty and Dennis, who were sitting in the parking lot listening to us.
They had to go all the way around. We got out. It was okay, but
we did get out. It was very, but I mean, it's just,
see the ground.
I just don't understand. We're trying. I don't understand why it is. Like you said, it does seem, and the proverbial they. Someday we'll discover who they are.
That happened, I don't remember it being quite like that until the lava was coming.
Oh, sure.
And then, civil defense came and just shoveled all of us out of the community center. The seniors, they threw them out. They just commandeered the whole place, threw up the barbed wire, and if you look on the map, the lava was coming. I mean, it came like within 300 feet, or just really close to their community center, that they would have had to then be rescued themselves. And so here they kick us out. Plus they canceled all the Section 7 or 8 housing, whatever that was. They did, there was a lot of things that really just changed our town, and we kind of want it back. And so that's kind of what Laulima Pahoa wants. I mean, the community center is sitting there. We have a ton of artists who have tons of skill. We have, I know, dozen women with sewing machines who want to give sewing classes. We could do recycled clothes, and teach people how to mend their clothes and make things. A little cottage industries. There's a kitchen there. People could donate their extra produce. We could feed people. We can do music. There's tons of musicians who have extra instruments who'd like to come teach people. We could have a community center band.
There's a lot of folks with technical
now I'm going to
skills.
cry if I think about all this shit. So don't get me started.
Well, no, it's not. It is. It's difficult, and it is, and it's easy to be so heavy-hearted with it, because the way that it always ends up being played out is that these folks, exactly the knee-jerk reaction to what happened to the Akibono, to that entire event. The knee-jerk reaction had unintended consequences, where the most vulnerable of people in the community were immediately targeted as being a problem, and it becomes a very slippery slope when you try to say that these folks are okay, these folks are not okay, and this type of behavior is okay, this type of behavior isn't okay. And I think that what I saw was people were truly concerned for very good reason about issues of that very small, tight space of downtown Pahoa. Mm-hmm. And of course, once barriers were put up and sidewalks were compromised, its space became even more precious. Yep. It became even more squeezed. And then
you have the school children
absolutely.
Who now all of a sudden have all their after school programs from both the Pahoa schools and the Haas school at the new park. Walking through town, and so now all of a sudden we're adding, oh my God, the children, it's not safe, and so
it critical.
It really.
Yeah. And it's funny, because again, when you look at it, you can't help but think, everyone, or not, perhaps not everyone, but many will often. They have a romantic idea of the past, of it being so much more friendly, so much nicer, easier, kinder, and probably one of the images that would easily bring that image, bring that thought up, is children walking through downtown past the penny candy store, which I don't think ever really existed, but you're right, I remember it, unfortunately. But the penny candy store, and so that image, the Norman Rockwell, the village, the where everyone is safe. That image is an easy one to want. It's very desirable, and it's an interesting thing whenever anybody talks about how things were. The proverbial candy bar was bigger, conversation. But ultimately, what we certainly know here at 93.5 Aloha Nation Live, what we certainly know is that nothing stops. Everything keeps moving. It's constantly in a flux of change. We are never going to go backward. Hopefully, we do make steps backwards sometimes with some of the leaders and some of the things that are chosen, some of the policies that are chosen, some of the choices that are made that by folks that are in positions that are making choices that affect thousands and thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people. here, bringing it right back down to our tiny little community, that image of children being able to walk from school to a brand new multi-gazillion-dollar facility up on the hill that locks its gates and we can't use this perfectly brand new parking lot. But with that aside, the idea of the children walking through town safely is a lovely, lovely thought. Sure. Are there reasons? Are there people that have made that less attractive? Yes, there are. Are those people in need of help? Are they in need of services? Are they in need of a way out of where they are?
Well, they could, if there was a community center that was open and flourishing, there would be something for people to do. If we had art and music and home economics and,
even technical skills. I mean, even
technology
skills.
rooms, so they could, write home to their mom or,
Sure.
pay their bills or whatever they do, Skype with their, family or,
Or did
a
I?
nice place to sit and talk with each other without fear of...
Well, that's a great point, Chris. Instead of having to crouch down on the sidewalk, if there was a park.
we don't even have a bathroom in Pahoa. Unless you walk a quarter mile up to the community center.
Yes, and you get
Which is hard if you're gonna
because of our.
That's incredible planning. It's incredible.
Right. There's no public restrooms. Unless you have a restaurant.
Sure.
There, and then they of course want only their patrons to use it, and
right,
so
they do.
and that's the other thing. Sal, man, he'd let people park their cars there. They used in and out his bathrooms. He provided a huge service, and I want,
Well, it's a huge shout out. I think that there's a huge shout out to Sal always. Everybody who knows him feels the same
Cinco
way.
de Mayo coming up.
And it is, in the long run, we should, in our wishful thinking basket, we have, if anybody has been to any of the events out at Green Lake, hosted and stewarded by Smiley.
Thing coming
Yep,
up.
Smiley Burrows does beautiful work out there. And but there's a structure that was made for a particular function out there that everybody has marveled at. And it has survived an extraordinary amount of time with the bizarre weather patterns, or this time of year, really not that bizarre, but with the weather patterns of late, this thing has survived beautifully. And there's some discussion with being able to construct one of those. I think we're looking for a little bit of expertise, a little bit of maybe a little bit of funding for that as well. Specifically.
Right. We want to call it, the Pahoa shell. It'll just be like a temporary bamboo structure. It's got a 30 or 40 foot footprint. What was the footprint?
Oh, it's extraordinary. Yeah,
it was huge, right?
It was, and it actually it's still there. I'm pretty sure. So there are events coming up at Green Lake, and that you again. I encourage the community to try to pay attention to the things that are announced, the posters that are always placed around town. I know that the bookshop invites people to put posters for events. I know that the Island Natural always does. I know that Serious Coffee does. I know that Rogers Guitars always does. Jungle Love always does. There's all of these places. These are all folks. They're all friends. They're all folks that and places that can possibly and hopefully will employ your children as they become an age where that's a good critical part of their learning and their process. But we've talked about an awful lot of things tonight, and I hope that everyone has had a chance to hear us. We are 93.5 FM Aloha Nation Live. I think what we'd like to do is talk just a little bit specifically about events that are coming up, and make sure that people can write them down, get them on their calendars. It's May 13th, I think, is the next time that your nonprofit.
That's the second Saturday.
Right, that's
May
Pahoa's
13th.
second Saturday.
Okay, and then I just want to interject because you were talking about Smiley and Green Lake, and so I just have to say, Laulima Pahoa has an announcement to make. I was contacted like in January, the end of January, by this woman, Pooja, from the Animal Planet Monsters Inside Me show. Okay, so they want to do a TV show about the rat lung problem that we in Puna have been experiencing. Right, that our bill did not pass. The state does not love Puna enough to fund
Russell
any
fought
kind
very
of.
hard
Russell
for that.
did.
Russell stood up very much for that.
Yep.
And actually, a number of the elected officials did a nice job on that.
They did, but what it is then I lost contact. She asked me, I had written a letter a couple of years back, right when I think I might have had dengue fever, but then I also thought, well, maybe I had rat lung, and I went into Hilo Hospital, the one and only time I've ever checked myself into the hospital. I think I'm on a list. They put me into a room with no door handles, no windows, and they did all sorts of tests on me without my permission. But anyway, after that, I wrote this letter about their rat lung policy because I had this good friend of mine who's a retired nurse who had been going to the emergency room for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. She's a vegan. She lives in Pahoa. She's only lived here for a couple of years, but she eats salads, and they never thought. I mean, she has all the classic things, the headaches, extreme pains, all this stuff. Nothing. They send her away. So after 5 times, they finally decide, oh, well, maybe she has rat lung. Let's check her. Bingo. So I wrote the letter, and I called the hospital, and they're like, well, all our new emergency room interns, they don't know about tropical diseases and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what this is? We have rat lung here. We've been dying. People have been dying for a couple of years out in Puna. Why would you not, think about that when the people come through with all the classic symptoms. So anyway, but back to the point why I was saying this. So I got a hold of Smiley, and she said like 2 weeks ago, the Animal Planet came out and filmed her, and so
wonderful.
I had put her in touch with people like Zoltima and Silke Strauch, his girlfriend, who had the rat lung really bad when
Now we did. What was the result of all of the blood tests that we all?
I don't know. They don't. That's the UH thing. They're looking to try and find a way they can find. Diagnose rat lung, and so they were looking for a way they can find it by seeing some kind of antibodies or some kind of byproduct, but it wasn't actual confirmation. The actual confirmation is the spinal tap, which the doctor with the purple hair scared me about when I decided I wanted to ask if perhaps I might have maybe had rat lung, and she's like, oh, you know what we'll do if you want us to check you for rat lung, don't use spinal tap. And so the way they treated me, and the way, you get that you don't wash your food, and just like they talk like we're dirty people out in Puna. We're out in Puna. We don't have running water. A lot of people, we got subdivisions out there without water, power, roads, or anything, and so it's our fault, that every little piece of lettuce didn't get washed, and so anyway, sorry.
Well, it's an interesting thing. I don't think that it's necessarily a fault thing. I think that whenever the Western medicine anyway seems to run into something that is beyond their understanding, if they don't have a quick pharmaceutical fix for it, then in particular if some pharmaceutical company hasn't sent them to Brazil for a month and then given them endless supplies of some other type of drug to hook people on, they don't recognize, and they're not looking in the right places, and they're not identifying it, and it always becomes that the usual. It's the usual difficulty of an isolated thing. One thing I found interesting was when to have a hospital in a tropical location, and the interns are here. It seems that it seems that the perfect learning ground. You know what I mean? And since since that only makes them that much more versatile to where they can go in their, for the rest of their career, it seems that this would be a terrific place. We are all aware that we kind of live in a
The
petri dish.
tourists, it's gonna it'll scare the tourists.
It will indeed,
That's
yeah.
what they've been afraid of,
Sure.
but since Maui has a couple cases now, I get to make the front page.
Yeah, sure.
But it wasn't enough for
community.
our senators or House reps to fund it.
No, our
No.
folks fought for it that are aware, and in the local area, Russell Rudovin did a beautiful job, and he was all over. I thought it was wonderful to see these guys finally, it seems to me, using the tools that are the tools now to communicate, which are social media.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, we should talk about your social media use, because you do use Facebook, right, for to reach out to folks for
Well,
the.
we do, and we're working on the website for Laulima, Pahoa, but right now we're just using Facebook pages, and it seems to work fine. I mean,
What is it for folks? Perhaps you should even spell it
just
for them so that they can.
Laulima, Laulima, Pahoa, and just on Facebook.
And tell everybody what that means, so that they.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Oh yeah, Laulima Pahoa is it's many hands kind of working together theme, and so Vince, one of our artists at the Tuesday Sketching or Friday at the Hot Ponds, he did the Laulima Pahoa logo, which is usually on our wool posters and things.
Which is great, because it's radio, you guys do. It's we'll have to tell you about it, because it's a bunch of little hands, right?
Right,
It's
right,
a
right.
bunch of little hands and little fingers, kind of going across the bottom of most of the posters, and it almost looks like a fence.
Well,
It's like-
yeah, but it's actually, he did that painting, and it's of Lukines and Akibona right before it burned down.
Oh,
So you can
right.
see looking down the street,
Yeah,
it's precious.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
wonderful. Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
So then, now, Christopher, when we have events, do you think that we're going to be able to get something together for the May 13th? This next coming second Saturday, do we want to tell people and encourage them to at the event to bring anything? Or, I mean, like the friendship flags that you were talking about. Is that going to be someone there trying to help that, or what do they bring?
Well,
Cloth.
I think she says she has to work.
Yeah, I'm working
Right,
with
but I mean,
Gagne
are you
myself.
organizing anybody else to?
What we is, it's new, so
So we
just
might
kind
not
of
be,
develop-
we might not be able to get it together for the May show, but it
No.
is stuff that we're trying to look
We're
forward
trying
to
to
in
put
We'll
it into the
June.
works.
Yeah, we'll still be recruiting volunteers for the May show, and then,
Sure.
we need to work it out where we can, get a few more volunteers who want to come on to second Saturday and bring, a pop-up tent, a couple tables and some chairs for us to use, maybe,
Right, yeah.
because
Well, I think that it would be good as
we
well.
put
I
that
mean,
big tent up, Tom's got the big tent and
Sure.
all the music equipment, and we
Yeah.
do bring 3 or 4 tables, but,
You need just muscle to help with the stuff that
and
we're
muscle,
going
yeah,
on.
we need
Right,
help.
well, I think, I mean, overall, we need the nonprofit needs
Sure.
volunteers.
All
So
types.
and it's in the form that they have available for you folks if you show up on second Saturday, May 13th, across the street from Napa, the new Napa in Pahoa, at the Vitality Clinic, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
There'll be booths, and the nonprofit will have sign-up sheets that they kind of list out all of the stuff that's needed, all of the different skills that are needed, and it'll just give you, and plus you'll get a chance to chat directly with Sara if you wish, and I guess Chris, my lovely wife, is going to be working someplace, and then she's going to come to us.
She'll be there later, and Tom will be there playing
That's right, we'll be
music.
playing music.
In fact, speaking of playing music, did you not bring your guitar
I did bring a guitar.
tonight?
Yeah, I think if anything, what we might do is in a little bit we'll take a couple
I
minute
kind of
break.
need to take a break.
Yeah,
I
we'll
wouldn't mind.
take a little bit of
It's
break and
8:23.
maybe get a sip of tea and and then come back and maybe do a live song.
Oh.
Because that is what the show is about here on 93.5 is Aloha Nation Live, and we're going to be doing music, and we're going to bring folks like Sara on to talk about what they're doing, talk about the community, talk about the things that we feel that we need to do to try and take care of our precious green planet. So we'll be right back, and stay with us. The nonprofit organization Laulima.
Laulima, Pahoa.
Laulima, Pahoa.
Many hands working together.
And what we wanted to do is we actually did have a great conversation about a lot of other things that are important to people in the Pahoa area, important to people on the Big Island, important to people now on Maui, which now brings it some attention. It's unfortunate, but true. But we wanted to talk, just kind of summarize, I guess, if you would, Sara, the name of the nonprofit, how we can get in touch, how folks can get in touch with you. There's Facebook pages, and then any of the events.
Sure. So Laulima Pahoa is Laulima Pahoa at gmail.com. And we're also on Facebook, and you can send a message. We'll send you out. It's a 2-page volunteer sheet, which kind of, you tell us what your interests are and what you like to do, and then we tell you what we kind of need done, and then we kind of see if we can get together, on some of those. And
there's quite a few things, right? I mean, we need, there's administrative stuff, there's technical stuff.
Yeah, we could use an IT person, because I always was a Mac girl, and now I have a HP, and I get frustrated and spend hours yelling at the Windows 10 operating system.
It's giving her a hard time.
So, yeah.
Adapting. So then we have events, though. And I guess for the volunteer stuff, we're going now. The organization is looking for an IT person, like mentioned. We are holding those events second Saturdays in Pahoa, that's where you can get a chance to easily sign up as a volunteer, find out, speak to the folks that you're hearing tonight, some of the folks that are helping out and not
Right.
with us this evening. But that's
if you
second
show
Saturday.
up at 12 noon on Saturday, May
Yeah, that's
13th, you can help us put the big tent up.
That's right.
You'll meet all the musicians, the geckos, who are going to be playing there. They
After the Power Women.
right after the Power Women for Mother's Day special.
Millicent
Cummings
Cummings.
from 5 o'clock to 5:45, and then Wendy
Millicent,
Hayes.
wonderful. Wendy
Yeah,
Hayes.
Millicent does. She's
She's
original.
terrific community.
She's up on the mountain. She's active and writing, and she's also an artist. She's had a show or two already at the museum, and she's played there at Second Saturdays over the last couple of years.
Lady.
Right. So she'll be 5 o'clock to 5:45, and then Wendy Hayes 5:45 to 6:30, and then
A couple of
Geckos.
powerhouses there, a couple of powerhouse ladies that will just absolutely.
The pictures of them I posted on our
That's right.
Facebook page,
Oh,
and I
great,
did the press releases for Hawaii Public Radio. Those guys are really great. They always talk about our Tuesday sketching. You can hear them. Yeah, in the morning driving in. I heard them on St. Patrick's Day. We did a fundraiser for the Akibono, and I'm pulling up to my gate because I had forgotten that $200 gift certificate from the Vitality Clinic. So I'm driving home at 5, and right when I get to my gate, they're like talking about us. Yeah, and there's Laulima Pahoa's having a fundraiser at Jungle Love.
Sure.
And so that thing was great, man. We had a Bending Elbows played there for us.
Speaking of the Bending Elbows.
Speaking of Bending Elbows, my brother-in-law's trio,
It's a-
country western trio,
shameless
harmonies.
self-promotion.
Yeah, they're playing at the Lava Shack this coming Saturday, first Saturday in Pahoa at the Lava Shack. 6 to 9.
6 to 9, the Bending Elbows,
Yeah.
Lava Shack. Yep, and then that's a shameless advertisement.
Shameless plug. It's no cover charge. The guys at the Lava Shack will take care of you there and let you in free, so you got money to have a drink or two, instead of paying it to. Yeah, he's helping to promote the music to local music.
That's wonderful.
So.
Wonderful. Then that's when? What's the date on that one?
Oh, that's this Saturday,
This
which is
coming
like,
Saturday.
yeah, Cinco de Mayo?
right.
It's the 6th.
Oh, the 6th, yeah.
Oh, now, did you see how quickly my lovely wife knew the
She
date
knows
of
the
Cinco de Mayo?
Get with Dave.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
Well, I
And so,
know
I'm sure, Chris, did anything that about the arts side of the organization that you're looking for volunteers? Anything specific?
Well, just ideas.
And ideas, yeah, sure, ideas.
Materials are always great, and even if you want to even hold your own art gathering.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You could
You
then
can just come to us with ideas and.
Right, that's what we're all about. People, and people have a lot of talent, and if you have always had a dream of like hosting a workshop or doing something for the community, whether it's art or music or whatever it is, you can write up your proposal, and we can try and help you get it. We got a few grant writers signed up as
Yeah, that's a great
volunteers.
idea.
They're looking for things to do, and so yeah, we can try and help you help us, help everybody.
Somebody else's individual, what they are.
Yeah. Like Rose Elaine.
Yes.
She wants to do a thing with children and music, and she wants to do art while she's playing certain types of music to make the children more receptive.
Oh, interesting.
And so that's what she was talking about. And then she wants to do
That's
community
Rose
centers.
Messenger?
Yeah.
Rose,
Messenger.
yeah. Rose.
She's an author. She has written a lovely book. It's out there, actually, for purchase, I believe. Probably at Amazon. I can't imagine.
It was on Amazon. I'm not sure if it still is. You can
Did they
always
take
check.
them off, or once they're there, aren't they always there?
She's sold out, I'm
She's
sure.
so. She's in a second or third
She's
printing.
so popular.
So it is, you are listening to 93.5 FM Aloha Nation Live. We are being heard all over the Big Island, all over the world. We're broadcasting to the universe in order to tell you all about taking care of our beautiful green planet Earth. We have to focus on that. We have to pull together. We have to get to know each other. We have to speak to each other. We have to have fun together. That's what this radio station is for, is to engage people in order to bring people together, in order to start a conversation so that people can express their ideas, they can and get all of the things that they're worried about, out and see if there's someone already out there that can say to them, listen, I worried about that, and this is what I did about that, and it solved that problem. And we have Sarah here is a great community organizer. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Sure, we gotta thank Jean Tamashiro.
Yes, and the 93.5
is-
staff
yeah.
is just extraordinary. Aloha
DJ
Nation
Thumper
Live,
and
Roger on
Jenna.
camera. And we'll have it up. We'll probably have a YouTube live for everyone to see what we look like.
And thank you for the listeners too.
Yes.
Our
That's a
cameraman
great
behind the scenes who can
That's
do a
right.
little flip around
That's,
there.
that's funny. No, and again, the 93.5, it is Aloha Nation Live. My name is Thom. We will be here on Tuesdays between 7 and 9. Every week we're going to try to have a conversation with somebody that's trying to do something for the community, and then eventually we're hoping to be able to engage the community by being able to speak to them directly, back and forth, and hear all of the concerns and start a conversation, start getting together.
We could do that on the Facebook thing or something. I've heard DC doing that on 97.1. They'll be
Oh.
like, oh yeah, so on the Facebook page, so and so just said this,
Oh
and
my
so
God.
we could. That would almost be a live way to like if we had.
That must be
Facebook,
after you have to have
you know,
staff
or-
that monitor the monitor.
Well, we just I gotta
monitor.
we are right here. We're the staff. We're all
We are all
purpose here.
things.
We are all
We are
things.
all things.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay.
It's
Well, that was good.
Again, 93.5. My name is Thom. It's Aloha Nation Live. Thank you, Gene, and thank you, DJ Thumper. DJ Thumper has been working just endlessly, providing all of the music, all of the live interaction, the station identification that tells you guys who we are. We are here, 93.5 Aloha Nation Live. We're going to go back to music, and we'll see you all later. Come back and check us out next Tuesday.